Apologies.
Councillor Abbott.
Councillor Skelp.
Yep.
Two apologies.
There'll be another major later item.
Someone willing to move to be accepted?
Yes, Your Worship.
Moved and seconded. Thank
Seconded.
you. Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against carried. Declaration of interests. Any changes there? You public forum. No one from the public is attending, wanting to speak. Major late items. It's, minutes of.
Your Worship, there are three major late items. The first is the minutes of the Risk and Assurance Committee held on the 16th of December, which had not been prepared at the time the agenda was distributed. The second item is the receipt of the annual report, which we believe will be ready to come back to you later this afternoon, so we'd ask that you receive it as a late item. And the third item is a matter from the extraordinary risk and assurance meeting held just earlier, which will be in public excluded, and that is the matter Shadbolton ICC.
Thank you. Moved it. Anyone wish to move that they be accepted as late items? Thank you.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Now we'll
So the minutes of the meeting of council.
Yes, sure, don't think so.
We're up to there, or we moved it to the minutes of the council held on the 23rd of November 2021. Be confirmed.
Moved, Your Worship.
Seconded, Your Worship.
Discussion, questions? Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against carried. Move on to the report on the minutes of the extraordinary meeting, the Performance Policy and Partnerships Committee.
Move that be received, Your Worship.
Seconded, Your Worship.
Been moved and seconded.
I'm sorry, Your Worship, Ms Cook can't second the item. I understand, Ms Cook. Thank you, Councillor Lewis.
Thank you. Councillor Lewis, you're agreeing to...
Yes, thank you.
Any questions, discussion? Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against carried. We moved the minutes of the Infrastructural Services Committee held on the 7th of December 2021.
I'll move that, Your Worship, and the recommendations included.
Thank you. It's moved. Seconded, Councillor Ludlow. Discussion, questions? Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
Councillor Pottinger had the point.
Oh, Councillor Pottinger.
Look, as chair of that committee, I'd just like, as information to other councillors, speaking to my equivalent colleague in Christchurch, when the MOU was put in front of the Christchurch City Council, they voted 10-3 and adopted the MOU for the Three Waters thing. So I just thought I'd pass on that piece of information. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that. Any further questions, discussion? Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against carried. Moved that the minutes of the Bluff Community Board meeting held on the 13th of December.
I'll move those minutes.
Thank you. Seconder for that.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Question, discussion. Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Be received the minutes of the Performance Policy and Partnerships Committee held on the 14th of December 2021.
Move that's received, your worship,
I'd second that, your worship.
and the recommendations
Moved and
adopted.
seconded.
Sorry.
Councillors, I would just ask that you are deliberate in the recommendations to council, given the nature of the changes that are being recommended there.
Any further questions, discussion? Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Now have a set of recommendations to council.
They've just put those.
May do those at once.
Councillor Ludlow moved those when he moved the receipt, as did Councillor Lewison seconding.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further questions, discussion? Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
It's been done. Your worship.
Oh, it's been done. What about that item?
They've all been done.
Oh, great. Sorry, they've all been done, so a bit of a shortcut there, but
So you're on to your report.
Well done, Councillor Ludlow.
move on to the Mayor's report. I'll move that it be received.
Second, your worship.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion, questions? Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye. Against, carried.
And there's the minutes of the, no, your worship, there's the minutes of the Risk and Assurance Committee held on the 16th of December.
And that goes where?
That was a late item and it's now available to be moved as being received.
Okay, so we can move to be received that as a late item.
You've moved that already. If you'd just like to put that the minutes, second move and second that the minutes be received.
Moved that the mover and the seconder that the minutes be received.
I'll move that.
Seconded, your worship.
Thank you. Moved and seconded.
Yeah, good day.
Discussion, questions? Councillor Pottinger.
Thank you, Your Worship. Look, just regarding health and safety risk update there, and it talks about the vaccine, double vaccine required. Look, I'm just wondering, and this applies to a lot of businesses around Invercargill, is the health and safety risk to the potential health and safety risk to staff who have to wear masks for a continued period of time. And I do feel sorry for any staff anywhere who have to do this because of their role. So I just wondered, is that something that we've actually investigated, the actual impact of wearing masks for duration on members, on staff? You know, the potential, health consequences, because it is not normal. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I think that I'd be able to comment that wearing masks is not something that is enjoyed by individuals. However, for most staff of council, it is but a fleeting period of time in the context of the hours of the week. For those who are in public-facing roles at all times, such as in the library and the customer service centre, it is without doubt an inconvenience. But I think the science is clear that it is a positive step that one can take for themselves and for those around them. And I note that the disposable masks that many of us are wearing are actually made for medical use, where they could be worn for a much longer period than most of us are experiencing. I think we see it as an appropriate risk mitigation step, albeit an inconvenient one.
Thank you.
With that, I'll put my mask back on.
The question was raised as to whether or not we're on duty during the holiday period, and I feel we're always on duty if we're in the city at the time. We had a case where a young student was killed in a car crash at the turn-off to Milford on the way from the city, and myself and the Penny were just hopped in a car and drove out to the site to console the parents, and you just never know what can happen in a situation like that. And I like to think that we would all make ourselves available in the event of a tragic such as that. Councillor.
Yes, just
Right.
just a reflection to that. At Chairs today, it was decided that Councillor Ludlow and Councillor Pottinger, who aren't taking leave over that period, would cover that. Experience has taught me in the last 12 months that sometimes being on duty but not answering your cell phone can put council in a difficult position. So it's good that this year we've designated a couple of people.
L comes before P.
Further questions, discussion? We would just,
We need to put that to the vote, Your Worship.
it's this one.
No, we're on the... What are we?
Risk and assurance.
Yes, we're on the minutes of the Risk and Assurance Committee. You've got a mover and a seconder, if you'd like to put that on the agenda.
Okay, we have a mover and seconder for the minutes of the Risk and Assurance Committee. Further questions? Not, I'll put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Annual report.
Now, Your Worship, the advice I have is that the annual report should be, the auditors should be in a position to attend council within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Mr. Day is going to give us an update.
Thank you. Through yourself, Worship. Just another update hot off the press. It is more looking like 5 o'clock before we get the hard copy pack to us. So just wanted to alert the council.
So if council was to move into public excluded at this stage and do the matters on the public excluded agenda, it could deal with that matter and the outstanding business on PPP with a view to coming back to council and that risk and assurance and then council in relation to the receipt of the annual report.
Move that we go into public excluded with the exception of Mr Grant and Mr Mackenzie.
Seconded, Your Worship.
Moved and seconded. Discussion, questions? Put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.